Welcome back, Tug Addicts. Welcome back again, Tug Addicts. Uh, as we left you Saturday, everybody was ready to get to those ball games, and there were some really good college games on. I told you that Mike and I were going to go fishing Sunday, which we did. And we kept 7 nice trout. Went out in the morning, fished a little while on the tide, and then we went back that afternoon to fish a little bit more. And out of the 2 little trips we made, probably an hour and a half, 2 hours each, we kept 7, caught about 18, something like that. We just kept what we needed for supper, and that's what we hope that everybody would do. Keep what you need and don't waste them. Put them in the freezer and don't put them up properly, and they freeze or burnt. You throw them away a year later. So I called my wife and asked her what she wanted, broiled fish or fried fish. Well, I was surprised, but she wanted fried fish for the night. So when I finish the little vlog tonight, I'm frying fish. Joshua brought a friend of his by today, and she was visiting from Texas, and he and Penny are going to have the broiled fish recipe that we put out. I think it was in November. I had some notes here on the 7th of November, and let's see, I had another little note here, and I hope they enjoy it. I hope they'll let me know later. From an R. Kemp 3 weeks ago, he said, "My wife hates fish. I made this meal with speckled trout, flounder, and black drum. She loved it, and requested a second meal 2 days later." Thank you, sir. Thank you for the comment. The blue cheese recipe, the one I'm referring to, I think was on November the 7th, I already said. So y'all haven't seen that, go back to it and look it up and try it and let me know how you enjoyed it or not. Got another comment here from a Yates Gladwell. Said, "Very informative. Always find something fun and interesting. Found the crawfish video. That man knows his stuff. One last thing, if I care to comment, my state, North Carolina, my son lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, and he says allows inshore shrimping and gill nets. Most of our species are in decline. If you can run the fisheries, what would you do? I live on the water, and it's going to be very difficult to catch my Friday's fish for our dinner. Regards." Yeah, what would I do? First thing I'd do is get rid of government regulations. And President Obama did more to hurt the fishing industry throughout the whole United States than anybody I've ever seen, especially up in New York with the cod industry. We're just getting too many rules and regulations. But one rule I would like to know about is what you mentioned about being able to fish inside what we would consider the sounds and allowing the shrimping inland. If they're shrimping inside their breeding grounds, that to me is not good. That needs to be stopped. And the gill netting, is the gill netting being done by residential people or by commercial people? Now, the commercial people depends on what kind of limit they have on what they can take. But a big problem with that is doing it not in the sounds where the breeding grounds is. Years ago, my brother and I went up, did a fishing trip up around Norfolk, Virginia. We went in to visit a supplier that we used to get a few thousand pounds of whiting from a week. And we asked him, so what's going on here? Why aren't we getting more whiting? He said, "Charlie, look out the window over there." My brother looked out the window. He said, "What do you see?" He said, "I see a bunch of cruise ships." He said, "Yeah, they came in, the Corps of Engineers, who are engineers, and they dredged the harbor. Where did they dump all the dredging? Right in the mouth of the sound where the fish breed, instead of bringing it out farther in the ocean." So, as I've said before, common sense is no longer common. They did the same thing here in Savannah, Georgia. They built this section called the locks. They thought they were really doing something. Well, the fish would come down the river, basically stop at this locks, and people just murdered the trout. But the biggest thing they did was it messed up the water flow. Don't mess with Mother Nature, the natural water flow. And the sand tight bottom that the rockfish, or what people call striped bass, needed to lay their eggs got destroyed. We have very few rockfish now at all, if any. I don't know if anybody catches any rockfish in the Savannah River anymore. So there's just too many rules and regulations in the wrong place. So I'm sorry to hear that you're not doing as well as you used to do, but laws need to be changed to keep the fishery going, because the people who do it commercially, they aren't trying to ruin their lives. But if these people are setting these nets in the sounds who aren't commercial fishermen and taking more than they need, I'm against that, as well as I'm against that with the shrimping too. Another comment I had was from Ron Milton. He talked about the Fish Rules app. It picks up your location from your phone and gives you the slot limits for your state and whether the measurement from the tail of the fork. That's another thing too. Make sure when you look at your fish, whether it's, when you're looking at a mackerel, or you looking at a bluefish, or you looking at a pompano, any of those fork type fish, make sure that you check and see that it's at the fork. Don't be measuring the tail length, because that's very important. Let's see, what else can I tell you about? I got in my notes here tonight. Oh, I know what it was. I wanted to go back over the fish that we have. We're gonna fry tonight. I'm gonna go over the batter that I'm using. It's not the batter that I wish I could get like we used to for 35 years. And I'll go over that maybe tomorrow night and tell you about the batter that we used on the fish tonight and what I did to make it brown. It's a coincidental thing today. Joshua brought his friend by, and I asked what she did. And she lives in Texas, and she teaches 7th and 8th grade kids reading, and who have a problem with maybe reading and difficulties, whatever, I'm assuming. And I said, well, boy, that really falls in line, because Josh asked me earlier, he said, what is your nostalgia thing tonight? And being that Penny's a school teacher, this is a shout out to her. And I know she's not old enough to remember this, but they threatened to keep kids back a grade if they failed, and they did it. So that's my nostalgia thing for tonight. Josh, I hope you and Penny enjoy y'all's trout tonight with the blue cheese recipe, and give me a shout out. Let me know how well it tasted, and if Penny enjoyed it too. Okay, guys, don't forget to please leave questions and comments. Go to our website, look up the influencer link in the description is at the bottom. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up, hit the bell, and subscribe. That's what keeps the channel going. And just remember to take a kid fishing. And also remember, you can't catch them on the couch.